Have you ever felt the weight of the world on your shoulders, keeping you from bringing to reality a dream, from reaching a goal, from being someone important? I'm Vigilante, and you're about to experience the Vigilante effect. I aim to prove 4 points in this video. The first is that yes, life is tough, but you're tougher. The second is that only failures feel success from the failures of others. The third is that in reality, failure is a tool for learning. And the fourth and final point is that you are your own worst enemy or greatest hero. For point number 1, life is tough, but you're tougher. Life has all types of obstacles: bills, taxes, school, parents, love, hate, kids, mortgage, disability. People are racist, jobs suck, and your boss is out to get you. You lose loved ones, people have no food, the economy, exams, rent, temptations, drone strikes. Physics is tough, and math is near impossible. But they're not unbeatable. Nothing from what I have said is insurmountable. Your body and mind are built for these precise circumstances. All you have to do is put in the required effort. You're not bad at math, you're actually hardwired to understand it. You just have to spend the time to exercise your brain with it. No matter what your situation is, no matter how difficult you may think it seems, there are millions and millions of people in this world that have it worse and are achieving more. If you are disabled, that's your limitation to overcome. And you can overcome it by using the strengths you have in other areas. And you're not alone. Everyone, and I mean everyone, has limitations unique to them. We all come from different lives and backgrounds, and each of us was built for the specific situations we are placed in. We all have the necessary supports around us and within us to overpower these weaknesses. Overcoming difficulty is arguably the definition of being a human. Weakness defines us, yet our will makes us incredibly strong. When a human doesn't know, he learns. When a human is weak, she trains her body and mind to be strong. If life was perfect, you would never show your potential. Because life is difficult, you are presented with the greatest opportunity to win. And you can't win if you don't have challenges. And for the Muslims, remember that part of your belief is that the angels, the beings made of light, full of incredible strength, incapable of doing injustice, flawless in their beauty, these same creatures were ordered to bow down to you out of respect when Adam was first created. So if you are disabled, if you are a man, a woman, if you're black, if you're white, if you're Asian, if you're a farmer, if you're a doctor, no matter what you are, the angels with all their perfection bow down to you with all your imperfections. And because life is tough and because humans have a choice, some people face it head on and some people just give up. And when people give up, they find all types of ways to still feel good about themselves. Which leads to point number 2. Failures feel success from the failures of others. But this type of success is a fantasy. Humans are social creatures, and they never want to be completely alone. When they give up on their own potential, they try to pull others down with them to join their circle, thinking this somehow brings them success and happiness. I don't mean when somebody loses a home or loses a loved one that they shouldn't try to find comfort with people in similar situations. That's different. That's two people coming together to overcome a common obstacle. I'm referring to the trolls, the haters, the enviers, the racists, the bigots, the ones that say you can't because they couldn't do it, the ones that put you down when they see you rising above them, the ones who can't see their own weaknesses and therefore never try to overcome them, or the ones who fear you will force them to set a new standard for success. These are the true failures. The failure is the one who finds success in naming cultures with stigmas, the one who thinks he is better simply because he is American, Egyptian, or Pakistani, the one who thinks their stinginess makes them succeed with their riches, the one who thinks he has the right to look down on others because he is deluded to believe he is more religious. These are the failures. They fail to address their own weaknesses and try to drown people beneath them so they can feel successful. Let Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, and prophets Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon them all, be an example for facing their oppressors who are filled with greed and power. Stand in the face of your hater and decline to sit in the back seat. Stand in the face of the elitist and declare your dreams. Stand in the face of the Pharaoh who thinks himself a god above your people, and stand against the arrogant who thinks he can crucify your truth. Stand against the stingy, racist oppressors who insist on seeing social class, race, and gender as justifications for injustice. A failure fails to learn from his failures, because failing should translate to learning, which leads to point number 3. You fail to learn, and this is the reality. Every human is born ignorant of the world. Before you were born, you were a cell overcoming all types of hardships as you traveled a dangerous terrain just to join in the womb of another human and begin to be born. You were a statistical failure to believe that you can possibly be the one out of the hundreds and hundreds of millions racing against you to fertilize that egg. But from your failure, you learned that it is possible, even if statistically improbable. And once you were born, before you learned to walk, you fell. Before you learned to talk, you babbled. Before you added numbers, you failed to count them. Before you learned to love, you failed to be loved. And without making these failures, you would never learn to achieve. But the choice is yours. Which brings me to our final point. You are your own worst enemy, or your greatest hero. When the world is on your shoulder, you can fall on your knees, cry and whine, feel sorry for yourself, make every excuse in the book. I have a headache. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the skill. I have asthma. I have cancer. I'm too fat, too skinny, too tall, too short. I'm not social. I'm ugly. It's too hard. Or you can work, sweat, bleed, shed tears, accept the fact that you are not only human, but that you are human. You can adapt. You run the living kingdom. You have your eyes, or your ears, or your mind, or your feet, or your hands, or you have all of these combined together. In which case, what excuse do you have? You can choose to push yourself and use the strength of your humanity, or you can fail to see your potential and tell yourself, I can't. I choose to embrace being human. Do you?